What is going on, everyone? It's Jimmy, and today we are here for the Krash League introduction and the full draft review. So I'm going to be going through every single coach's team, and just to intro right now, this is a league that I just joined with Crypto and Bash as the leaders down here, and they're both friends of mine from the Coaches League, which I was a part of, and it went down. Alright, it's still, I guess, kinda going on. I'm in the playoffs of it, but we aren't really finishing it, I don't think. But yeah, this is gonna be a fun league. It has a bunch of good, active coaches for the most part, I believe, and they all seem to be drafting pretty well. So I'm excited to get this going. So we'll just start in the Diamond Division, top left, with Tsunami and the Seattle Salandits. So with the first pick, we saw Arcanine. That's obviously a really solid fire type. Out of the, I think that might have been tier, or it's points, so a certain amount of points. So it was a good pick because it's always just such a good mon. But yeah, I'm just gonna look at the full team. I started by talking about Arcanine, but I was gonna look into it like that, but I forgot that this wasn't tiers; it was points. So going through every mon would be tough. So I don't really want to. But if we look at the synergy, we see Scizor, and he could have a Flashfire Arcanine. He's got Keldeo and Snorlax that could run Thick Fat. Not Keldeo running Thick Fat, obviously, but Keldeo, Aerodactyl Arcanine, and Snorlax, and Dragalge, and Lunatone could all switch in on a fire attack. So that's a pretty good support for the Mega Scizor. And the Mega Scizor supports these mons pretty well also. And then Snorlax is just like a special. It's like as close as you can get to Chansey without having Chansey. Well, other than Blissey, but you know. Yeah. And then Dragalge is a real big threat. Kinda. Maybe he should have had a couple slower mons with the Dragalge, because now Dragalge is kind of always forced to be just like get killed by 2 hits and get 1 kill basically. So it's gonna go 1 and 1 every week is my bold prediction on Dragalge. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a pretty solid overall draft. I kind of don't like Dragalge on it without a Trick Room, but Dragalge can still put in work in that role if it is used well. So he can switch around, you know. He's got a little bit of momentum. He's got the webs. His team can definitely use that. So yeah. And the defogger with Rotom also helps. So now, well, we'll move on to my draft. I got Kieran Black, Lando T, Heatran, Araquanid, Crocodile, Cobalion, Rotom Fan, Pawniard, and regular Pinsir with Mega Alakazam. And you can see I have 1 less mon than Tsunami, and you can see Charlotte Chimchars in for Nathan has 2 mons less. And this is a point-based draft, and it was 9 to 11 mons. So I chose the middle route with 10. Tsunami chose to get all 11, and had leftover points. And Infernathan took 9, which, I don't know. I was initially going to go with 9, but I saw an opportunity with Pawniard and Pinsir as the last 2 instead of Ferroseed, because I was going to go Ferroseed, but I like this a little bit better. So yeah, let me run through my team. I like that I can get webs. And if other teams try to defog, we got Pawniard there. And we have plenty of rock setters throughout the team, so whatever wants to set rocks can set rocks. And this team just everything's fast, most of the team's fast, almost everything can just kill something. So it's all going to be no one can predict exactly what's going to be offensive each week, which I like. And then we have Flying EMZ, so that could be used by at least 3 or 4 mons pretty decently, which is solid. That'll be annoying for opponents, so yeah. I like the overall team. I will throw in quickly that we all drafted Z crystals, which is kind of cool. If you see, I'm not sure if I agree with it, but Tsunami picked Water EMZ, and that's going to benefit Keldeo pretty much. I don't really see anything else that would use it that well. Dragalge can use it like Hydro Pump, but I don't like it on his team that much. Flying MZ I like on my team because Lando T just can use it really well, and I have other mons that can use it, so I like that. We see, but yeah, that's it for my draft pretty much. I'm not gonna go into too much detail on it. You guys will see when I use it. We'll move on to Infernathan and the Charlotte Chimchars. He got Blacephalon early on with Mega Kangaskhan. So just those two mons alone, that's gonna really, if you try to stall him out, that's not gonna really work for the most part. He's got two huge wall breakers, Kangaskhan physically and Blacephalon especially. So you won't have a whole lot of success to do that. And he's got Tapu Bulu in case you thought. And then he drafted Skarmory just in case anyone else is going to try to wall the Bulu. He can't now. So yeah, he's got a pretty real solid setup right there. He's got, he could kind of, that Quagsire Skarmory core could be real annoying, especially with Murkrow maybe coming in and encoring. I don't like that he opted to select these really good mons and then select more mid-range mons with them, because now he's forced to only have 9 mons, so 2/3 of his mons are coming every week, so it might become predictable for his team. But I do like the big picks with Latias, Skarmory, Weavile, Bulu, Blacephalon, Mega Kangaskhan. That team is really threatening, but he's going to have to use it really well. And Grassy MZ, obviously that's a pretty good decision, considering Blacephalon could use it, and so could obviously Tapu Bulu. So I believe Blacephalon gets something to use it, but maybe not. Moving on, we see Monochrome and the Pittsburgh Piplups, and he got Manaphy, Megaladios, Nidoqueen, Klefki, Porygon 2, Silvally, Serena, Incineroar, Raichu, Machoke, and Carbink. So that's a pretty good solid squad. He's got a really good hazard remover in Serena, and if he doesn't want to bring that, he's got Defog with Latios as well. And then he has plenty of setters on his team, Klefki, Carbink. That's really all you need, considering they're going to be only used for that role. And Nidoqueen can also do it with Toxic Spikes as well. So he's set right there. He's got a little bit of momentum on the team. I like the draft for the most part, but I kind of don't like that he's got all these threats that aren't necessarily too fast, with no webs, and like his highest speed's Raichu and Latios, or Raichu's faster than Latios, but Raichu's not a big threat. Latios is his main speed user in my opinion, so he might want to pick up webs at some point, but I could totally see this working either way. He's just going to have to find a way to eliminate opposing fast mons in order to clear out for Manaphy to sweep. So overall, this is a pretty solid team. He's got a little bit of momentum going as well. Yeah, he could also use a bulk, like a little bit of bulk with the Machoke and maybe a defensive Latios, Porygon 2. Nidoqueen can be defensive, so he can use it like bulky as well, but I'm not sure exactly how I feel about that. But also ICMZ, Porygon 2 is not going to be using it. I doubt Nidoqueen's going to be using it. I really think he should have picked Manaphy and then second pick just went Water MZ, because Manaphy really benefits a whole lot from the Water MZ. So I feel that's a little bit of a missed opportunity there. But I see why he wanted the mons instead. So, alright, we'll move on. Codster and the Philadelphia Floatzels. We see Bisharp, Kingdra, Durant, Amoonguss, Pelipper, Infernape, Crest, Gligar, Drifblim, Perugly, and Mega Diancie. Mega Diancie, Bisharp, Kingdra, under Pelipper, and then with the Infernape, those are all like really solid offensive threats. And then Durant can be a surprise if you don't prep for it well. Amoonguss with Crest and Gligar will be a really tough defensive core to go in with it, and then he's got the outside with the Perugly and Drifblim to help out. I like the setup. It's a pretty well-rounded draft with the rain thrown in. I think that's pretty solid. I don't like Infernape and Rain all that much, but considering he picked Pelipper, which is one of the checks to Infernape, if he wants to like go on and off with using it, it's going to be tougher for other teams to check, or at least he removed one of the checks for it. And then he got Ghost DMZ. I don't know if he's going to be trying something with the Drifblim that I don't know about, but that's kind of scary. Krash can also use it for Shadow Ball. That's an alright Z item. I could see it. Alright. I like what Krash can do. Obviously, he can set up on a whole lot of teams, or just wall things and spread toxic, so it'll be a threat. Yeah, that's a pretty solid all-around team. I like it. Moving on to Zen and the Houston Ruckruffs. We see Tapu Koko, Victini, Mamoswine, Hydreigon, Fortress, Seismitoad, Hawlucha, Alolan Raichu, Munchlax, and Mega Beedrill with Electrium Z. So that's a really well set up Tapu Koko based team. Koko will be coming probably every week, considering it's there to boost Hawlucha and Raichu. So that's like 3 mons that are all built to work together. Fortress can spin hazards, and Seismitoad can set them, and Fortress can set them as well. Mamoswine can help. And then offensively you can see the Victini, Mamoswine, Hydreigon, Koko, Hawlucha. Like, all of these mons will stack, and other teams will have a whole lot of trouble with it, especially with the Mega Beedrill there to help with the momentum. So, yeah, he's got a lot of momentum, he's got a lot of threats. That's a really solid offensive team. The Munchlax pick doesn't fit at all, but I doubt. It was a meme pick, so I don't blame him. It was a real solid draft right there. And Munchlax might catch someone off guard with a stall set and just sweep them, so don't blame him for that. That's a really solid draft. Moving on to Bash and the New York Mews. We saw Celesteela, Komodo, Scolipede, Donphan, Jolteon, Lurantis, Monferno, Swampert, and Feraligatr. Immediately, Swampert and Feraligatr on the same draft is kind of weird, especially right next to each other, but we'll let that slide. He's got Fighting MZ. That's real solid for Monferno if he wants to use it, or Como can use that pretty solidly, and Celesteela might be able to do something with that. Probably not, but you know, it's there. So he's got a real fast draft. He can Volt Switch with Jolteon. I don't see a whole lot of momentum, so that might end up being a problem. Just the Mega Gardevoir Celesteela combo is a real big threat. Tough to do a whole lot against that. And then he's also got Donphan to set hazards. Scolipede will be a threat because he can set up. He's got a whole lot of setup. And then Swampert can help with hazards. Maybe wall a couple stuff, spread toxic. Feraligatr can set up also. Lurantis can set up. So I can see a whole lot of setup. I think Speed Pass is illegal, so Scolipede is going to be there to set up. So that's fine. Actually, I don't know for sure. It might be legal. It probably is legal, considering he picked it with the Lurantis. If that is legal, that's a really solid combo with Como and Lurantis. He can pass that over, and Celesteela, or Gardevoir. So yeah, plenty of threats that he can pass that too. It is probably legal, considering that team. Yeah, he's got a real threatening team, but he has to find the way to pass it by setting up on the right mons, I guess, is what I will say. So moving on, we see Amittyville Ampharos and Crypto. Crypto is like probably the biggest friend of mine entering this league, and I've been in quite a few tournaments and leagues with him. We know he's pretty good. Our battles are always close, so that's a fun opponent to have. He drafted Thundurus, Incarnate, Garchomp, Volcarona, Milotic, Regirock, Drapion, Hitmonchan, Espeon, and Meganium with Mega Mawile. And he can set hazards and block them with Espeon. I don't like the lack of, like, his only hazard removal is Hitmonchan, so he has to play the Espeon really well. I know I've done that in the past. I've had an Espeon and just stayed there with it in order to prevent opposing hazards, which was kind of the plan. He got Normalium Z. That's a really good Z move for most teams, considering it has a wide variety of setup things they can do. I don't know exactly how his team will use that, but I'm excited to see it. Meganium can be bulky, Espeon can do damage, Volcarona can set up, Garchomp can do a whole lot of damage. We can see Milotic walling quite a few things, Thundurus can set up and just do damage, so he's got plenty of damage dealers on this team that can also set up, with Regirock being there to help out, and Mega Mawile also, so yeah, he'll do damage. I don't see a whole lot of defensive presence. It's mainly an offensive team, but Milotic plus Regirock is never it shouldn't really be slept on, especially with Meganium there to throw out the seeds. So yeah, it's a solid team. He might want to make a move to try to get. I mean, does he have webs? I think he dropped the webs. Actually, that's fine though, because if opponents try to set webs on him, he's got Thundo that isn't affected by it and Milotic that can get boosted by it. So he'll be fine. He's just got to play well. That's just a team that relies on playing, which means playoffs will be tough, but I think he'll get there, get to the playoffs at least with that team. So moving on to the Portland Primeapes and Honor 6, we see Jirachi, Zapdos, Tyranitar, Darmanitan, Alomomola, Hariyama, Landorus, Spinarak, Wigglytuff, Sceptile, Mega with the Rocky MZ. I really like the Rocky MZ choice because Tyranitar can use it really well. Darmanitan has potential to use it. Hariyama has potential to use it. Landorus has potential to use it. Especially with Swords Dance or Double Dance, Lando can use that really well. And then he's got a whole lot of momentum on the team with Darmanitan, Jirachi, Zapdos, Landorus. Spinarak can set webs, Wigglytuff can be bulky, Sceptile is just really fast and can deal some damage. I like the overall build. Alomomola can be paired with Zapdos and T-Tar to really have a tough core to break, and then Wigglytuff can Wish Pass if T-Tar needs it. So that's a real solid thing. Also, Alomomola Wish Passes, so yeah, this team will be tough to break, and then if you do, he's got all this offense right there for you. So yeah, I like the overall build there. Moving on to the Tacoma Rainers, we see Teddy with Hoopa Unbound, Sylveon, Superior, Galvantula, Machamp, Mudsdale, Exeggutor, Alola, Mantine, Flareon, Tentacool, Mega Aggron, and Psyche MZ with 11 extra points. I'm assuming he'll eventually make a move with this team, as his team is pretty low tier. He's real confident in his Flareon. I think it might have been someone else, but I think he was confident in Flareon, getting a bunch of kills. Considering he's under webs, I think he should bring Trick Room every once in a while, because he has a really slow team. A couple things on his team could set that up. I think Sylveon can, and Hoopa might be able to, but he might want to grab a couple better Trick Room setters. But yeah, we're going to move on to what his team can do. So Hoopa Unbound can break a whole bunch of walls. Sylveon can do a whole bunch of damage. Superior can set itself up with its own Leaf Storms. Galvantula can help all these mons out with the sticky webs. Tentacool can Rapid Spin. I don't think he's going to be using that much. Mantine will be the defogger in my opinion. Machamp can break through a couple things with the Dynamic Punch and everything. Overall, I like the look of his team, but it's not. I'm not a ridiculous fan of it. I like the Psyche MZ with the Exeggutor and the Hoopa, but I think maybe he should get a Trick Room setter because he has a lot of things that are too slow to be benefited by the webs. Moving on to the Vegas Dragonites and Salazzle. He's got a bulky start with Clefable, Suicune, Umbreon. But then he goes offensive: Kartana, Moltres, Magneton, Gengar, Cryogonal, Mega Lopunny, and then we have Volibee and Leafeon. Volibee is also bulky to help that core, so he has a core that can be really annoying, and then not only that, he's got all this offense in the back as well. With Fire MZ, that'll help out Moltres to be the breaker that it has to be for this team, as he has nothing else with fire. So I do like that team setup. Really, it's there. It explains for itself. Like, everything there, nothing really gets momentum, but everything can really do its job well. So I think as long as he can keep pressure on his opponents with the Lopunny and everything, I think this team will succeed. And with the final draft, we see the Seattle Staraptors with Bailey. Bailey beat me another league, like, ridiculously, with Kyurem B, which is kind of funny, because now I have the Kyurem B. But yeah, he's got Zygarde, Florges, Ferrothorn, Rotom Heat, Persian Alola, Terrakion, Ambipom, Azelf, Fearow, and Mega Blastoise with the Ground DMZ. Ground DMZ will help him nuke with Terrakion and Zygarde, and I like that he has the Ambipom with U-turn, Azelf with U-turn, Fearow with U-turn, I think, Persian Alola with the Parting Shot, and that's it. So he's got a lot of momentum to help out the Zygarde, as he can just slide that in when he needs it, and after a Parting Shot, it'll be a weakened physical attacker, let's say, and then he coils and subs, and then he has got sweeps, and I like that, how that can set up. He has a Florges to Wish Pass for Ferrothorn and Rotom Heat. Ferrothorn can set hazards. I like the overall build. Azelf can set if he really wants to run offensive. Blastoise can also be run with the Florges for the pass, and Blastoise can do a whole lot of damage as well. I like the build. His speed is there. It's not ridiculous, but he has a bunch of things that are just fast enough to be effective, so I like the overall build of the team. Well done for this league. With that, I'll just slide over to the sprites so that I can slide through these and review everything. We see the Seattle Salandits with that squad. I don't know if all of this was updated. I think it was, but maybe not. We see my team with the giant Ponyard. We got the Charlotte Chimchars with the bulky setup right there. We see the Houston Ruckruffs, Philadelphia Floatzels, Pittsburgh Piplups, Amittyville Ampharos, New York Mews, Portland Primeapes, Seattle Staraptors, Vegas Dragonites, and Tacoma Rainers. And there you go. That is the league. So I hope you guys enjoyed my analysis of each team. That'll do it for this one. See you guys next time.